Today, I'm gonna share a technique that's gonna make your work a lot better. Stop. Alright, okay, fine. I'm gonna tell you about the tools that I use to design stuff. I'm gonna use an example of an app that I wanted to build for a while now, and I decided to finally start doing it. So it's a bit of a case study of a process, but at the same time will showcase what I used in what order exactly to achieve the results that I want. I use most of the same tools when I'm working with clients as well. At the end of the video, I'm gonna share the hardware I use, because most people think that for a professional designer working with Fortune 500 clients, as we often do, you need like the most insane technology that you can imagine. And you'll be surprised by the specs of their laptop. Okay, let's talk about the app. I run quite a lot, and I use the Apple Watch to track my runs. It goes into Apple Health, and then if you really want to know how much you ran in a year, there isn't really a way to do that in the native fitness app. You need to go through every workout and just manually add the distances. Obviously, there are apps, and I use one of those, that kind of do this automatically for you, but this is just like a simple statistic, a list of numbers, and a lot of different numbers. And I wanted a little bit more context, like in relation to the planet, how far have I run? Like overall, total, all of my runs. I was thinking, and this is where we're getting to the first tool. It's this one. Design happens right here in your brain before it gets into any software or paper or anywhere else. So I was thinking, maybe I could make an app that calculates your total distance the same way those other apps do, but displays it in a way where you kind of see how many circles around the world you've traveled so far. A full circle is 40,000 kilometers, so it's quite far. Not many people run that much, except for some ultra runners. For most people, it's gonna be some fractional number. So maybe you ran from your hometown all the way to the US, and that's still something. It still shows a little bit of that context of your journey through time and space. So once I have an idea, the first thing I do is to sketch it out. I take out my notebook and a pen, not a pencil, and I try to sketch out the initial concept of it, like what features should it have, how would you filter the exercises, and then how would you display the planet itself, how interactive it would be. I annotated. I try to make like a lot of different options of it if possible, and I use the pen because I don't want to be able to erase stuff. If I come up with a bad idea, then it stays, but at least I know that this bad idea is off the table now. I like keeping my bad ideas crossed out, obviously, so I won't make them by accident, but I like keeping them because they remind me that I exhausted all the options, or most of the options. Then, on the iPad mini, I used the app called Procreate to use the Apple Pencil and kind of sketch out that exact same thing all over again. And this is great because first of all, it kind of solidifies the idea. I can skip all the bad ideas from that initial sketch in the notebook and just kind of move only the good ones. Then I airdrop it to my MacBook, and then I can continue working on it. Once it's on my computer, I put it into Sketch. Yeah, I don't use Figma, I use Sketch, and none of our clients ever had a problem with this. I just much prefer a native app to a web app. And besides, a native app allows you to drag and drop images from the export window between all the other windows. So, for example, I can drag and drop an exported image into Rotato to create a nice little animated 3D mockup. And this is also how I make those YouTube videos, because I prepare all the assets first in Sketch, and then I just drag and drop them onto the timeline, and something can appear right here. Okay, now let's get back to the app itself. As you can see, I made it pretty minimal, but then I started thinking, okay, but what about dark mode? Or maybe light mode is actually gonna be better. So I create a lot of different versions of everything. just to be sure that even in the higher fidelity UI, I also exhausted all the options. And for this app, I believe I'm gonna actually go with both the dark mode and the light mode, but with the light mode being the default here. To quickly mock up the planet, I use Midjourney. Obviously, this is gonna be done in 3D later on with real textures and it's gonna look way better, but it's really good to get a quick mockup. So I make a prompt of like a clay-like, very light or very dark for dark mode planet, and even if it's not 100% precise continents, it's fine. I paste it in, mask it with a circle, and then I can create an app that actually starts looking like the real thing. Then I can go into Spline and recreate parts of it as a really quick mockup. And I'm not really that great at 3D. This is more of a way to kind of understand how this planet would rotate exactly, how would the line be drawing around it, like a general idea of how it works. Now let's animate the interface a little bit, because as you enter it, the planet will show up somehow. It will rotate a little bit, the line will draw, but I also want the icons to appear in some way. And for that, I use a tool called Hype, which is an HTML5 animation editor that's timeline based. It's actually quite powerful. It has physics and a lot of different plugins and things. I've been using it for a long time now, for years literally. I'm actually considering switching to Rive. I have Rive installed and I'm exploring it a little bit because it's also a really powerful tool. For now though, I'm more familiar with Hype, so I'm using Hype for this project as well. Now, because I'm not that great at 3D, I have to ask my colleague Adam to help me with that, and as always, he delivered an amazing result with a 3D animated Earth that looks like this. In the end, I put everything together in Final Cut Pro, combining the Hype animation with the 3D animation that's semi-transparent into a movie file. Now that movie file I dragged to the last app on that list today, which is Rotato. This is a 3D mockup tool that allows you to drag and drop movies or images into phones, tablets, computers, and whatever you want, and then basically make a frame-based animation on how that phone can move in space. You can make very complex and multi-step animations in it, or something really simple. I started sketching up an idea in my notebook on the beach, and now, a while later and going through a couple different tools, we arrive at this high fidelity design in a nice 3D animated mockup. This is a great starting point, and obviously we're gonna code the app later, but for now I'm really happy with the result. I'm gonna start off the hardware with like the cheapest possible notebook that you can get in Tiger stores in Europe. It's not a Moleskine, it's not anything fancy, because I go through one of these every week or two, so it's really not worth it to buy expensive ones. Paper is paper, you're just gonna have a good experience writing on it anyway. Alright, now this. This is an iPad mini with an Apple Pencil. It kind of sticks like this, and it's quite magical really. It's like a very small drawing tablet. This is kind of my starting point for most designs and for a lot of the annotations, including ones that we do for clients. Now, this part here. This computer is an M1 Pro MacBook Pro with 32 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. It's an M1 Pro, not an M3. It's not like the top of the line, highest end computer. It was pretty top of the line when I got it, but the thing is that it's been a couple years and I'm editing 4K video, multiple streams, and doing pretty complex 3D stuff and animations, transitions, coding a little bit in Xcode. And this just works. It's perfect for what I do, and it's completely enough. I've always been a fan of Apple displays. I used the old Thunderbolt display for years, and this one is the Studio display. It's not as bright and not as super high res as the Pro XDR, but it's also like 3 times cheaper. And it's completely fine for design. Now, the mouse is the Logitech MX Vertical. And the reason for that is that I've been working for 20 plus years on a mouse with this position. And once you kind of realize that your arm is not in a natural position when it's lying on the table like that, because it's slightly rotated, it should be like that, then you get a mouse that actually matches that, and problem solved, or sort of. It actually requires a lot of rehab to rotate my arm back the right way. And now this is currently my favorite keyboard from Keychron. This is the Keychron K3 Pro, and I got it in white, and Keychron was so nice to send this to me alongside those two red keys, which is a custom thing. And this is like a very low profile mechanical keyboard, so it has this nice little sound when you're typing that can be annoying the neighbors, but what do I care? I'm a designer. I just can do anything I want. Yeah, and that's basically it. You really need to remember to not get obsessed with Figma or Sketch or Penpot or Lunacy or whatever. Just use whatever works for you, but always be sure to start right here, because design happens in your head. Even if you don't have any design tools, you can still design. And you know what? I've been actually solving problems for a couple clients without ever launching anything. Not even on paper. Like, we go on to a conversation and they show me some stuff, some flows and some ideas, and we discuss them. And in some cases, I actually solved their problem on that call or on that meeting by just talking. This is what design is about. The tool is just the extension of your brain, so just pick one that works best for you. And also let me know if you want to see me code that up. I will be using some AI coding help for that. I'm not that great at coding, but I really want to build that little thing and then see how far have I gone around the earth. That's a pretty interesting question. Well, anyway, thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate everybody watching till the end. And obviously, I wish you all a beautiful day.